For 70 years, the Arc of Massachusetts has been working to make sure that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism, have the opportunity to live a good life. 7 decades of progress, but progress is not always linear. The pandemic proved that, and today the pandemic continues to impact people without enough staff support, day services, physical and communication therapies, and other needed assistance. We're going to share 2 generations of stories with you. Because our policy work, our achievements, mean nothing unless they're actualized by individuals and families. That's where it comes to life. And what you'll learn from Reggie's story starting in the 1970s and Jonathan's story starting in the 2000s are a combination of unbelievable achievements of these gentlemen, but also the trials that they had to go through in their families to succeed and to achieve.
At age 2, that's when the regression started.
You can see what's missing. And it was a sad child, crying all the time, didn't sleep, didn't eat. For 3 years, Reggie went to so many schools we couldn't even count because he wouldn't stay. There was a particular day I went, I couldn't even speak, I was sobbing because I couldn't see what kind of life this child is gonna have. The Department of Special Education said to me, I'm gonna send a referral to, at that time it was Kennedy Memorial Hospital. And after 10 months, Reggie came home with a lot of good skill, a little better language, but Reggie could do more than we expected. And Reggie went to school and stayed in school until he graduated. So we kept going, we worked, we asked questions, but no answer. People were willing to listen. And all those years we were on our own because there was nothing in place as far as services for Reggie. When Reggie turned 18, I started to ask that question, turning 22, which was a mystery to us. What is about turning 22? What's behind that?
Well, without the act, it wouldn't be possible. I said that every day, and I mean it. And I will forever grateful because today Reggie semi-independently living in his home. Okay, the act taught us, okay, how to establish a better future for Reggie.
While he was in high school, when we talk with the teachers to seek about what Reggie's ability, he can't tell you, but he can do it by demonstrate with his hands. They start taking Reggie around high school to do housekeeping. No, he didn't like it. To work in cafeteria, no, he wouldn't do it. And they took Reggie to a dry cleaners in Arlington. And that was a match in heaven. Reggie was able to do everything there.
I received a phone call from the owner of the dry cleaning one day. I said, oh my goodness, what did Reggie do? So I went there, busted to that dry cleaning, which is not too far from us. When I got there, he says, Mr. Villorin, don't worry. Reggie didn't do anything wrong. I can see it in your face, okay? And I say, well, what happened? Why did you call me? He says, the reason I called you is the fact the amount of work we pulled aside for Reggie to do in a week. He does it in less than 4 hours. So what do? That's when I told him, I said, every time he's done with work, find something else for him to do. Even teach him how to make coffee. At one time he used to come here and he used to make coffee here, you know. So that's how he ended up. There's not a machine in that dry cleaning that he didn't know how to operate. Through this is the fact we made it a mission, our mission on earth, our purpose of living, to keep talking while we can for not only Reggie, who's our son, but for younger people with disabilities. We want him, when we're not there, that he continue to live the life he's living now, a life with dignity. And these are the things we want for him. We don't want him to suffer.
For Operation House Call, I teach up-and-coming medical students how to treat people with disabilities, and I mentor up-and-coming co-teachers how to teach.
As he evolved and was an infant, it was challenging, colic and allergies to all sorts of things. So we really didn't know what to expect. We didn't have expectations, we just wanted to really love him.
Everyone has a voice. It just is how we use it. When I was 8 years old, I was physically abused and mentally abused by multiple teachers. I didn't have that voice back then. I couldn't even leave my house for like over 2 years.
When my husband and I were called one day from when he was in public school and told, you have 5 minutes to get to the school, we're bringing him by ambulance ourselves to the emergency room because he was so self-injurious and tried to jump out a window. You know, thankfully I had a wonderful pediatrician working alongside Jonathan who I had called after we had arrived at the hospital and said, get him out of there because they're going to want to put him in a placement, and that's more traumatizing because she believed that his behaviors were more so a way of communication, which they were, and communication was not being heard. I knew that, my husband knew that, and we just had to figure out what our next steps would be. We were already involved in the Bridgewater State University Speech and Language Clinic since the age of 3. Jonathan was a participant there, and we grew a really strong relationship with the professor who was with us along this journey of his self-injurious behaviors and his trauma. I didn't know at the time, but I was building him a community support system along with a lot of great supports. There were so many things that just make Jonathan's journey so remarkable to myself, my husband, his brother, all the things he has been through in his life. He's the most resilient person that I know, that I probably will ever know. Did I ever think he'd be at the State House testifying in front of people? Never. But you know what? I never thought, oh, that's something he's not going to do. It never crossed my mind. We were just happy as long as Jonathan was at peace with himself.
If I could name one dream, it would basically be to leave this world in a better place than when I came here. That would be my absolute dream.
This is why the ARC of Massachusetts needs to advocate as strongly as possible this year and the years ahead. Because every generation has to learn, especially those leading education, leading healthcare, criminal justice, our policymakers at the state and federal level. They all need to learn and relearn how important accommodations are for people with disabilities. And we're finding that whether we hear a story from the 1970s or the 2000s. Let's continue to work together to make a beautiful future, a bright future for everyone.
A good life, well, first of all, I think it's being fulfilled and being happy. I think fulfillment is the most important, because if you're not fulfilled, then you're not really happy. So I think fulfillment is a good life.
I want the world to know that we're unstoppable. We can do anything we want to do because we are great. Because we put our mind to something and we do it.